So this dude was sentenced to a Texas prison for deceiving 10 women into marrying him. I've heard of people that have done like 2 or 3, but 10 is a lot. Let's see why. What happened? Houston man Orlando Coleman, 51, has been sentenced to prison for deceiving at least 10 women into marrying him by posing as a bishop. Cut here. Bishops are pastors of pastors. So he was basically posing as a minister who was above many ministers. Coleman visited black churches nationwide, presenting himself as a clergy member and on social media as the founder of various churches and a Pentecostal preacher. However, prosecutors argue it was a ruse to gain the trust of religious women, leading to multiple marriages over 2 decades. 2 decades! Coleman was sentenced to 3 years in prison last week for marrying a third woman shortly after being put on probation for bigamy involving 2 simultaneous marriages, according to Daily Mail. So he basically didn't learn his lesson. In Texas, bigamy is a third degree felony with a potential sentence of up to 10 years. Prosecutors argue Coleman married for housing and financial benefits, which basically means that his ministry wasn't doing very well. At the heart of this repeat offender schemes was a plan to defraud women and take advantage of them for financial gain. Harris County District Attorney Kim Ogg said in a news release, this man used the church to camouflage his scams and hide from any accountability or responsibility, which a lot of people do. Not going to go into it right now, but that happens a lot. Investigators trace Coleman's first marriage back to 2001. Oh gosh, that's like 22 years ago. Over the years, he traveled to various states targeting church-going women by posing as a Protestant pastor or bishop. The self-styled bishop's modus operandi involved proposing marriage to these women, moving in with them, and relying on them for housing and sustenance. That's the only thing he had to offer, and to validate his word, the proposal to marry, that was something big, Assistant District Attorney Vanessa Gausen told the New York Times. Getting proposed to was a big gesture for these women, and that corroborated his guise that he's a godly person. Several women filed for divorce after Coleman fled to another state. In 2021, his scheme was exposed when he married a Houston woman who later found out he was receiving funds from a woman in Virginia. The Houston woman contacted the Virginia woman via Facebook and learned they had been married since 2019, providing evidence of their marriage. The Virginia woman revealed that they were separated in 2021 but never officially divorced. That Facebook ministry is top tier. Won't he do it? The Virginia woman disclosed that she had separated from Coleman when he relocated to Texas and married the Houston woman shortly thereafter. The Texas woman reported the incident to the police, leading to bigamy charges filed by the Harris County Sheriff's Office. Coleman pleaded guilty in July 2023 and received 3 years probation. In a letter before his sentencing, he claimed he believed he was eligible to marry the Texas woman because he thought his previous marriage had been annulled or ended in a divorce. And you know that's not true because you get a divorce decree and you have to file papers. So he was lying and he knew it. If I knew getting married was not allowed, I would have waited, he wrote. He asserted he survived childhood sexual abuse and lacked love growing up. He also outlined his intentions to return to Kentucky as a pastor, helping to feed and clothe people. He signed off with credentials including PhD, THD, DD, implying he held advanced degrees, although there is no evidence to support this claim. Just 2 months after being sentenced, Coleman, still married to the Virginia woman, married a Kentucky woman. Wow. You mean to tell me this man told you he was going to go to Kentucky and he did it and you didn't think he was going to go marry somebody else? Wow. So, prosecutors moved to revoke his probation upon discovering the new marriage, leading to sentencing on March 11th. Good. Coleman inadvertently exposed the deception on Facebook, the Facebook ministry, where multiple profiles list him as married and holding titles such as presiding bishop, senior pastor at Word of Faith International Worship Center in Delaware. This is wild. All of these women out here wanted to be first ladies. Let me tell you something. Like Risa Tisa says, it does not cost to do a check, to check people. And it may cost you everything if you don't check. So this pastor was allowed to get away with this for almost 22, 23 years. I'm telling you, and he's probably hasn't learned his lesson. The next time he'll probably go to California or go to Florida or something as soon as he gets out in 3 years. So keep an eye on him. and let's see let's check back in 3 years, because I don't think he's finished with his shenanigans. Leave a comment below. Let me know, do you think he's finished, or do you think he has learned his lesson, or he will learn his lesson in prison? Like, share, and subscribe.